Hey guys, it's been a stressful afternoon. It's a good stress though. I wasn't really going to vlog much. It's not really something that you do for the vlog, to be honest, but if you have a look behind me, I've got a little setup. There's balloons on the ceiling. Most of my afternoon has been spent filling those with helium. The tank actually ran out, so I had to race down and get another tank. Hannah's still at work, and the trouble is I never know what time she comes home because she works for her parents, so she comes home whenever she's finished her work for the day. I actually spoke to her dad and her brother last night and asked them if they could hold her back at work for as late as possible, so she might be a bit annoyed. I don't know what they've got her doing or if they've had to hold her back at all, but I'll give you a quick look at the setup here. So the balloons have taken most of my afternoon. I did get 100, I almost got there. The two tanks got maybe 80 odd balloons. They're just white balloons with a rose gold ribbon. We've got the white rose petals all over the floor. Obviously you've got a nice little LED letters. We've got a bunch of white roses, which is Hannah's favourite. There's 8 there because we've been together 8 years. That's how long it took me to propose. Sorry. And the ring. This is actually a ring that she really wanted. And it was from a local jeweler that was actually closing down. I'm pretty sure she doesn't know that I actually bought it. And she's sort of resigned to the fact that we're just not going to get married, which might make this a bit more of a surprise. So fingers crossed, we'll see how we go. I wasn't sure how to sort of work into the little setup, so I've just got a single balloon there. She's going to be like, what? And then another one there, third one here, and this is what the little room looks like as you walk into it. So hopefully she likes that. I think she will. Hello?
What's this for? Stop it.
Honey.
Honey, stop it! Stop it!
Honey, will you marry me?
Oh my god, stop it!
Oh, don't cry, honey. Honey, don't cry.
Oh my god! Oh my god! It's so pretty!
It's the one that you wanted.
Honey! Oh my god! How long did you wait this for?
I bought it when you wanted it.
Honey, stop it!
That's too big.
I'll have to get it sized. Oh
Yeah.
my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I just never thought this would ever happen!
I wanted it to be a surprise.
Oh my god! It looks so perfect on my finger. Honey! Why did you decide to do it today? You're so funny.
Well, I've been planning it for ages. I had to wait for all this stuff to come.
What did you like by this?
No, I just bought it.
You just bought it.
Yeah, they clothing,
Yeah, I remember. But like, you just had it for that long. Where did you hide it at?
right? In my cupboard. In a
Stop.
shoebox.
Oh my god, does anyone know you're doing this?
Your dad and Kurt.
Stop it.
And my mum.
Really? Oh my god.
I asked your dad last night.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh my
And I asked
god.
Kurt if he could hold you back if you were going to leave early today.
Oh my god, honey, I love you so much.
Oh,
I want
yeah.
to spend my life with you, and I was happy to spend it with you without getting married.
Yeah,
I want to elope though.
Yeah, that's what I was
I don't
saying.
want to have a wedding.
I was saying to your dad that we might not even do that. So.
Oh my god. God, we might just have a big engagement party and then be like, have a celebrant there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, honey. I love you so much.
I love you.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh, I've literally got snot pouring out of my nose. I need tissue at the top.
That's the ring. I should take off my pinky ring so you guys can see it properly. And it has little diamonds on the underside. The autofocus on this is just like killing my life. But there you go. That's the rock.
Well, well, well. I never thought we'd be making this video. What do we even call this video? Our engagement story time / actual footage. Oh, and there's a little dog walking around. Hi, baby. So for those who actually follow me on Instagram and stuff, I've done like lots of Q&As over the last like 1.5 years, 2 years, and you would have heard me say that I was like totally uninterested in getting married, think it's a waste of money, not really into it, don't care if we never got married. So I've obviously expressed that to Brett, and what's funny is I'm going to tell you, like, I guess
I didn't believe it. You still did.
Okay, there's like a whole backstory. So I used to want to get married really bad, and I actually about 2 years ago, we'd been together 6 years at that time, and I was like, are we ever going to get married? And I went to a local jeweler, because whenever Mum and I go in town and have lunch and stuff, she likes going into the jewelers and looking at the jewelry, and I've always, like, you know, looked at rings and been like, oh, one day when I get married I might have a ring like this or whatever. So I went into our local jewelers and I spotted a ring that like I was in love with, and I was like, oh my God, this is so perfect, I love it so much, like that's the type of ring I want. So I took a picture of it and I sent it to Brett, and I was like, if you're ever going to marry me, this is the type of ring I want. And he was kind of a bit of a douche about it.
My only problem was, for me personally, marriage and proposal was always a surprise type thing. Like the guy surprises the girl with it. Only issue with that was like if you knew that I went and got a ring, whereas we're as good as engaged.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And it wouldn't be a surprise.
And it's not a surprise,
Yeah.
and you know, and then you're just like, all right, like you're just going to be waiting for it. Like,
so long story short, we had a fight about it.
I went and got the ring that afternoon, but I didn't want her to know, obviously, because I still wanted to be surprised.
And I had like no clue that he got it. I was like, okay, we're never going to get married. Brett obviously doesn't care about getting married. Like, it's just never going to happen. And I was like, I'll just have to accept it. Like, if I love him and he doesn't want to marry me, then I guess I just have to live with it. And so anyway, not long after, so Brett actually went down and got the ring, no joke, like that day, the day after. I was oblivious, I had no idea he did it, but then my sister actually separated from her husband and got really, 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 really nasty. And it has very much like emotionally consumed our entire family for the last 1.5 years. And when all the shit hit the fan with that, I was like, you know what? I do not want to get married because I don't want to fix what isn't broken. And I just like had an epiphany that like I've been with Brett at that point in time 6 years. I was like, I can't see myself with anyone else. I love him. Even if he never wants to marry me, I really don't care, because like I've got such a good partner and we're achieving so much in life and we're so happy, and we've literally been dedicated 1,000,000% to each other from day dot. Like, we've never had any issues with like people straying or cheating or any bullshittery like that. It's more like we got together when we were like nearly 22. And I feel like our relationship over the years has just like, the older we get, the closer we grow together. And like, I feel like the more similar we become. We have very similar views on everything in life. Like, we're very much on the same page. I was like, oh, I don't want like marriage to be something that taints our relationship. So I was totally off it. We don't need to get married, it's all good. So for the last like 1.5 years, I've been like, honey, like I'm so content and happy with life. Poor bugger has this ring stashed away in a cupboard, like, oh, just waiting for the right time.
But I was really never worried about that, because I knew that you still wanted, and I knew like, yeah, all that stuff contributed to you like no longer want to get married, but it was also the fact that you had just sort of accepted it because you thought that I would never ask.
I guess so.
You just like sort of talked yourself into being okay with it.
Yeah, with it not happening.
But I always knew that you always wanted to be married, and I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't like expect someone not to have that when it's something.
And I think the thing as well is that I have always wanted to get married, but I'm not actually fussed on white weddings and massive celebrations. So like I have always said my entire life I would never wear an actual wedding dress. For a little phase there I was like, oh, maybe I should wear a white wedding dress when my day comes, maybe I should have a wedding. But like I've literally said since I was a teenager that I never wanted a traditional wedding, and I still feel that same way. So we're going to get married, but we're not going to do what people are going to assume that we're doing. So there's probably not going to be like a heap of wedding series. I'm not going to be wearing a wedding dress. There's not going to be a whole heap of wedding planning. It's not going to be anything like that. But I guess we should tell them a little bit more about the pre-story. So we went to America in October last year, and Brett actually took the ring with him. Yeah, I took the ring.
I wanted to propose in the Grand Canyon. We were going to get a helicopter into the Grand Canyon, do like a day tour type thing. And I'm pretty sure you walk around and you find your own little spot. So it would have been like, yeah, we would have been by ourselves, and it would have been like a nice like photo op and whatever. But someone got travel sick on the flight into Vegas, and decided that she was not getting in a helicopter, so we didn't do the Grand Canyon.
Because everyone was saying that like the turbulence in planes in Vegas is massive because of the desert winds, and like Grand Canyon is on another level, and I was like, oh shit, like we better not do it, because I will literally spew all over the plane, the helicopter. So I was like, yeah, that won't happen. So I kind of ruined it, and then Brett we kind of didn't do anything that was special enough to propose at. No. And Brett said he didn't want it to be tacky, and also he didn't get a chance to ask my dad, tell him that story.
Yeah, so I was going to ask her dad, so I didn't want anyone to find out, so I wanted to leave it sort of to the last minute to ask her dad. So what we were doing was going to her parents' place before we drove to Sydney to fly to America. And because they've got a business and Hannah usually uses their fuel card to get petrol through the business, my plan was Hannah was going to get the fuel card, go and fill up, and I was going to stay at her parents' place while she was gone and ask her dad. But she didn't end up filling up the car, or you might have filled it up earlier during the week.
I think I was just like,
and you had like half a tank,
Sydney,
and you were just like, no, I just want to go, like let's just go and we'll get fuel on the way. So I was just like, all right.
So you felt bad.
So there went that, yeah. Dad. So even if I did ask in America, I wouldn't have asked her father beforehand. So
wanted to be traditional.
So it wasn't, I didn't feel too much pressure to pop the question in America.
So he ended up popping the question on the 27th of June 2019, and he just did it at home, and I'm actually so happy that this is the way it panned out, because I lost my mind, howling, crying. I haven't watched all the footage back yet because I'm still coming down off this emotional roller coaster. Brett and I were both saying last night we both felt totally brain dead, because it's just been like I can't even begin to tell you guys how surprised I am and how I did not expect this to happen, because like I guess Brett said, like I'd come to terms with the fact that I thought Brett didn't want to get married, and I was like, well, you know what, like I'm happy, so that's fine, I don't really care. So like I just haven't really cared about it for like the last 2 years. So then to all of a sudden have this, and it's literally the one I picked out. It was like, I was like, Brett, this is a ring, like if you don't have to get this one, but like if you get one, get it like this is a ring, and here it is now, like the one I literally picked out. So it's a bit funny the lead up to him doing the proposal too, because some things went wrong with that. Tell them about Pinterest.
So as you do, checked out Pinterest, just did some searches on like home proposals and proposal ideas and whatnot. If you ever used Pinterest before, you'll know that they obviously track your history, and they send you push notifications relating to your previous searches. So I started getting all these push notifications on my phone, like pins for you, proposal ideas, marriage ideas, wedding. I was just like, holy shit, if Hannah sees my phone. So I was like frantically going through the app trying to turn off all notifications. Also email you as well, and my emails pop up on my screen just the same
as a notification.
A notification. And during this time, like we were streaming some bits and pieces off my phone onto the TV, and I was just sitting there the whole time just like, please, 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 please. Like if a notification popped up on my phone, like it would have been streamed directly to the TV, and she would have been like,
I can't read from that far back anyway, so I probably wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah, but you were freaking anyway, yeah.
And then he ordered, so like you guys will see in the proposal clips, he had like light up signs that say marry me. and he bought them off eBay, and he purposely bought them off an Australian seller so they'd come quickly, but then they ended up coming from China.
They were harder to find than I expected. Like, I knew what I wanted, and it was really hard to find like an Australian like shop or supplier that have. So I ordered those. I ordered like the rose petals, the balloons, and like the ribbon for the balloons and the clips. So I ordered everything at the same time, and they sort of arrived, except for the lights. It
took like 6 weeks.
Yeah, I literally chose this specific eBay supplier because it said they were shipping from Sydney, and it was estimated like a week or less, like arrival date. Anyway, it ended up being a week after the arrival date that I messaged the eBay whatever, and they were like, oh, I'm so sorry, like we've just blah blah blah, like just some complete runaround story. They took like another 2 weeks or more, so I was just wanting to get this over with. I was ready to do it. So, and then when they did arrive, they came like these plastic lights with light bulbs in them or whatever from China all the way to Australia in like one of those flimsy,
not even a padded
little,
one,
like plastic satchel,
and it was all ripped.
It was busted. Like, I don't even know how they were still in there. Every corner was open. Like, it was a nightmare.
And Brett's mum was like, hope they work.
Yeah, mum was like, good luck.
So Brett's parents, the only one that, and Jodie, who sold him the ring, are the only people that knew Brett has had this ring for like 2 years. You filled up all the helium balloons yourself and attached the ribbons, and then he ran out of helium, so he had to run into town and get another. And he was freaking out because sometimes I come home really early from work. Like, I can be home at 3 o'clock some days, and then some days I don't come home till nearly 6. And he was ready by 4 o'clock, and I didn't end up getting home till 5:45. And it was so funny because I was really PMSy. I was fierce on the 27th of June all day. And my brother at this point knew that Brett wanted to propose.
So the day before I went to ask her dad, because again I wanted to leave it like as long as I could, so there was less chance of finding out and people talking. Her brother Kurt was there, so I basically asked them both at the same time. I finished work at like 1 that day, come home and started filling these helium balloons. There was 100 of them, mind you. My hands were like cramped, they were all busted, like I was cut myself open on the tank, like I was just frantically working. I had no idea, like she could have just come home at any second. And Kurt messaged me, he's like, hey bro, like how long will you take in case we can't hold it back until 5? So I was just like immediately like shit, like
thinking
she
I was
could
coming
come
home
back at any minute. I'm like rushing to get these balloons done. I started bleeding all over the white balloon, so I had to put band-aids on my fingers. And then the tank ran out, so I was like shit, got in the car, raced into town, got another tank, got back, filled them up.
I usually ring Brett like every day when I'm on my way home. I don't know why, because I know I'm going to see him, but I always ring him when I get in the car and I start driving home. Anyway, I rang him because I knew I wanted McDonald's, because I was PMSing hard and I needed my favourite McDonald's to get me through the night. So I was like, honey, I'm going to get Macca's on the way home, what do you want? And he's like, oh, why don't you come home and pick me up first and we'll go for a drive together? Because often we do that. Like, I'll come home and get Brett and we'll hang out together and go for a drive and get dinner and stuff, just, you know, spending some quality time together. And he was like, yeah, just come home and get me first. And I had a cracking headache, and I was like, honey, I can't be bothered like going back and forth, I'll just get on my way home.
By this point it was like 5:30.
Yeah, so
I
Brett
finished
was
everything
like,
at 4, and I'd been sitting there just like,
waiting for me.
Please, I don't want to just be sitting here, come home right now.
So
it was 5:30 and she still hadn't left, and she was
really
still going to get dinner
Macca's
and then come home. So yeah.
So then I walk in I pulled up in the shed, and I was like, got the go slows because I'm like PMSing. And so Brett came out and got the Cokes, and you grabbed the Cokes off me and you raced inside. And I was just like, oh God, he must be hungry, like excited for Macca's. And so he raced inside, put the Cokes on the bench, and then he raced back into the lounge room and was like down on one knee when I walked around the corner. And I was like holding the bag of Macca's, and I just sat it on the hall table, and I just like was howling, crying. And it took me a second to answer because I was like, what the hell? I think I said, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Or why are you doing
why are you doing this? Because I walked down the hall and I saw all the balloons, and I was just like, am I missing something? Is this a special day? Have I missed an anniversary? And I was like, no, our anniversary is in May. Our birthdays aren't for like a few more months. Like, what's going on? And then I saw the marry me, and I was just like, why are you doing this? I just lost my mind, howling, crying. Also, Brett, I think it's really kind and caring and thoughtful what he did, because he wanted to wait till mentally I wasn't so anti-marriage, and he also wanted to wait so all the drama had died down with like all these relationship issues around us, so that our families could all enjoy the special moment with us. Because I mean,
I just would have put more stress on everyone.
Yeah, and like I'm very close with my sister. Like, actually, I'm very close to my entire family. We're way too far up each other's asses. Like, it's ridiculous. And I just know that if my sister had been still going through her divorce and things weren't settled and we were still dealing with all the court stuff and had that hanging over our heads, I don't think I could have enjoyed my moment the same way. And I don't think my family could have enjoyed the moment either. So I'm really grateful, and I'm glad that you did it at home, because we're homebodies. Our home is one of our like most proudest achievements. We really love our house, and it's definitely our happy place, and we love spending time together here, and we're very much homebodies. So for Brett to propose at home and like to set it up how he did, like it was so, like the color scheme was perfect, and it was so cute, and oh, I'm just still like in shock. He's an undercover romantic. We were considering eloping in Vegas. I would actually love to get married in Vegas, a little Whitechapel, and that's what Brett's first preference would be too, but it's a little bit too difficult with logistics with my side of the family, just because my parents own a business and it's too hard for them to get away and stuff. So we're just gonna do something really low key in our hometown, and then we're gonna go to Vegas.
Yeah.
And we wanna do like, we're obviously gonna have a honeymoon there, but we also would like some of our friends to come. If they're free, family members, if they're free, like we want to, you know, celebrate with the people that we love the most and stuff. And yeah, so that's the story.
Yep.
But yeah, 2 years coming, and I didn't even know it was coming.
No.
But we're going to end it here. That's pretty much the gist of our engagement story. You guys are going to see the actual proposal and me howling my face off. It is obnoxious, but I was just really surprised. I still am. I couldn't stop crying yesterday. I think I cried 6 times yesterday. I cried, I don't even know how many times, on the 27th. My ring's already sized. The jeweler's literally sized it the same day, and when I went and picked it up, I got all emotional at the jeweler's, and I was like, I'm sorry, give me a second. I'm in a state of shock still. My brain's kind of like still processing it. Love you, honey.
Love you.
Mwah. I can't wait to be hubby and wifey. Oh, you're such a cutie. Oh. Thank you for watching our engagement story time and proposal video, guys. Hope you enjoyed the saga. And we'll talk to you in the comment section and in the next video. Bye.